Hi guys, today I'm going to be reading Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? By Dr. Seuss. When I was quite young and quite small for my size, I met an old man in the desert of Dries, and he sang me a song I will never forget. At least, well, I haven't forgotten it yet. He sat in a terribly prickly place, but when he sang with a sunny, sweet smile on his face. When you think things are bad, when you feel sour and blue, when you start to get mad, what should I do? Just tell yourself, Ducky, you are really quite lucky. Some people are much more, oh, ever so much more, oh, much, much more unlucky than you. Be glad you don't work on the Bungle Bug Bridge that they're building across Boober Bay Bum Ridge. It's a troublesome world. All the people who are in it are troubled with troubles almost every minute. You ought to be thankful a whole heaping lot for the places and people. You're lucky that you're not. Just suppose, for example, you lived in Gazettes and got caught in a traffic on Zatz Highway 8. That's a traffic jam. Or suppose, just for instance, you lived on Garzer with a bedroom up there and your bathroom up there. Just suppose you were poor Herbert Hart, who has taken his thrum bumber blot apart. He never will get it together, I'm sure. He never will know what the glick or the gur fits into the skr, the snox, or the snore. Yes, Ducky, you're lucky that you're not Herbert Hurt, who was taken his thrum burb later apart. That's a tricky word. Think they work you too hard? Think of poor Alizard. He has to mow grass in his uncle's backyard, and it was a quick growing grass, and it grows as he mows. The faster he mows it, the faster it grows, and all of his stingy old uncle will pay for his shoveling that mower around that hay is the piffless pay of 2 ducats a day, and Allie can't live on such perfulous pay. So, those were a lot of words for saying the grass is mowing. He's mowing the grass and it's growing too fast for him to mow it. He has to paint flagpoles on Sundays in grows. How lucky you are. You don't live in his shoes. And poor Mr. Bix. Every morning at 6, poor Mr. Bix has his borfin to fix. It doesn't seem fair. It just doesn't seem right. But his borfin just seems to go schlump every night. It schlumps in a heap, sadly needing repair. Bix figures it's due to the local night air. It takes him all day to unschlump it, and then the night air comes back and the schlumps once again. So don't you feel blue. Don't get down on the dumps. You're lucky you don't have a borfin that schlumps. And while you were at it, consider the schlots. The crumple horn web-footed green-bearded schlots, whose tail is entangled in unsolvable knots. If he isn't mulchy, more worse off than you, I'll eat my umbrella. And that's just what I'll do. And you're lucky indeed you don't ride on a camel. To ride on a camel, you sit on a whammel. A whammel, you know, is a sort of a saddle held on by a button that's known as a faddle. And boy, if your old whammel fabble gets loose, I'm telling you, ducky, you're gonna look like a goose. And poor Mr. Potter, T-crosser and I-dotter. He has to cross T's and he has to dot I's in an I and T factory out in Van Nodes. Oh, the jobs people work at out west near Hawatch. There's a watcher, bee watcher. His job is to watch, to keep both eyes on the lazy town bee. A bee that is watched will work harder, you see. Well, he watched and he watched, but in spite of his watch, that bee didn't work any harder. Not my watch. So then somebody said, our old bee watching man just isn't bee watching as hard as he can. He ought to be watching by another watcher. That thing is that we need is a bee watcher. Well, the bee watcher watched the bee watcher, and he didn't watch so well. So another watcher had to come in to watcher. And today, all the watchers who live in watch are watching on the watching the watcher who's watching the bee. You're not a watcher. You're lucky, you see. That was a tongue twister. And how fortunate you're not Professor DeBreeze, who spent the past 32 years, if you please, trying to teach Irish ducks how to read Javanese. And think of the poor puffing Poogle players who have to parade down the Poogle stairs every morning to wake up the Prince of Pooh Boken. It's awful how often their Poogles get broken. And oh, just suppose you were poor Harry Hallow. Try as he will, he can't make any shadow. He thinks that perhaps something's wrong with his giz, and I think that, by golly, there probably is. Look, he doesn't have a shadow. Everyone else has one. And the brothers Bazoo, suppose your hair grew like theirs happened to do. You think you're unlucky? I'm telling you, ducky, some people are ever so muchly more unlucky than you. And suppose that you lived in a forest in France, where the average young person just hasn't had a chance to escape from the pearliest pants-eating plants. But your pants are safe. You're a fortunate guy. And you ought to be shouting, how lucky am I? Look, the plant stole his pants. And speaking of plants, you should be greatly gladish that you're not Farmer Flankenberg's 17th radish. Those radishes are huge. And you're so lucky you're not Glunky Glown, who lives by himself 90 miles out of town in the ruins of Rock. Rock is rather run down. There he is. And you're so lucky that you're not a left-socked, left behind by mistake in the caverns of Croc. Did you ever lose a sock? Do you think it's there? Thank goodness for all those things that you're not. Thank goodness you're not something someone forgot and left all alone in some Perkish place, like the rusty tin coat hanger hanging in space. Oh, look, there it is. They just forgot about the hanger. And that's why I say, Ducky, don't grumble, don't stew. Some critters are much, oh, ever so much, so much more unlucky than you. So we need to be grateful for what we have and be thankful we're where we are in our life and the things that you have. Bye, guys. Have a good day.